Hi everybody, it's Bitetti from Riverfront Library, and today I'm going to take you through Microsoft Publisher. Microsoft Publisher is an application for creating publications such as flyers, thank you cards, invitations, calendars, and things like that. I'm going to go ahead and launch Publisher from my computer. If you're not sure whether or not you have Publisher on your machine, in the lower left-hand corner, you can go to Start and then type in the name of the application that you're searching for, in this case, Publisher. And if it pops up as an application, you do have it installed. All of the library's computers have Publisher installed on them, so when you have access to the library, you'll be able to use Publisher on our computers at the library. I'm going to go ahead and launch Publisher, and we'll talk about getting started. So when you start off in Publisher, you can start off in a blank document. However, it's much easier to begin from a template. So we're going to take a look at some of the templates that you have available. So I'm going to the File button and I'm clicking on New, and that's where you'll see some of the templates that you have available. So in the beginning, you'll see some blank ones, but then as you scroll down, you'll see some recently used or frequently used templates that are there. Okay, you can see all the different types of templates, thank you cards and photo albums, brochures, event flyers, different types of invitations and thank you cards and things like that. So if you're not really sure what you're looking for, but maybe you have a theme for an event, you can do a search. Up at the top here, it says search for online templates. So as an example, if you were looking to do something in the summer, you can type in the word summer and press enter or click search, and up comes some of the summer themes. And you can see here that there's availability for event flyers, thank you cards, menus. So if you were having, let's say you're having a summer barbecue, you would be able to use Publisher to send out invitations, to send the menu, to send a flyer, to send thank you cards after your event, and the theme kind of ties in nicely here. If you're looking for something different, like maybe you're looking for business cards or invitations, you can search like that as well. So here, for example, we'll search for business cards, and you can see that some of the templates come up for business cards. When you see a template that you like or that you may want to take a closer look at, you can go ahead and click on it, and it will zoom in and show you a little bit of a larger thumbnail of that template. And if that's the one you want to create, then you go ahead and click on the Create button. So for today, we're going to create an event flyer. It's one of the most common things that you can do with Publisher. So I'm going to go ahead and type in flyer in the search bar. And here are some samples that come up, and I am going to choose this flyer right here that says Diversity Day. So when I click on it, it shows up a little bit larger, and I say that is definitely the template that I want to use today. So I'm going to click on Create. And it brings me into a sample document based on that template. Now, you may not be having a diversity day, but maybe your event is going to be called something different, but you like the look of this flyer. That's fine. You don't want to choose a template based on the specific event that you're hosting, because the templates are very easy to manipulate. So once we choose one and we decide this is the design that we're going for, now we need to know how to take what Publisher has given us and make edits to it. So before I get started, I am going to go ahead and save the document that I have. So if you look up at the title bar for this particular file, it says that it's publication 2 created in Publisher. I'm going to give it a file name. So I go to File and choose Save As. I'm going to place this on my desktop, and I'm going to call it Book Drive Flyer. Okay, and it's saved as a Publisher file. Now, when you save something as a publisher file, it has a file extension at the end of it, and the file extension is a .pub, okay? So when I save this to my desktop, it is saving as a .pub flyer. If you look at the title bar now, it says book drive flyer.pub. That is a publisher file, just like a Word doc is docx, a publisher file is a pub file. So only a person that has publisher installed on their computer is going to be able to open it. Or if you email it to someone and they come to the library to use our computers, they would be able to open it. But if they don't have publisher on their machine, they can't open the publisher file. So there's an alternative to that, and you can send the publisher file as a PDF file. That way they'll be able to open it and view it. They will not be able to make edits to the file because it's a PDF file, but they will be able to take a look at your file. So if you'd like to do that, you can go to the File menu and choose Save As. Again, I can save it to my desktop, but instead of saving it this time as a publisher file, I can go ahead and save that file as a PDF file, okay? I don't want to save this just yet as a PDF file because it's not finished, but when all my changes are in the file, I may choose to save it as a PDF so that I can email it around to other people and they can see it without having publisher on their machine. So I'm going to go back and we're going to talk about how to now edit this file. So it says Diversity Day, and maybe that's not exactly what I'm looking for. So we are going to create a book drive flyer. So in order for me to replace that information, I'm going to have to select it and get rid of it, okay? Now, before I start making changes, I'm going to go down here to the lower right-hand corner, and I'm going to be using my zoom bar. And what I want to do is I really want to kind of zoom in on the portion of my publication that I'm going to be working on. And the reason that I want to do that is because I may want to do different things with my text, with my formatting. I want to see how large it's going to look. So I don't want to work in a very small zoom, like 40%. I want to be able to zoom up to close to 100%. So that I can see how this text is going to appear on my final flyer. So I changed my zoom and I'm focusing now on the title. So the way that Microsoft Publisher works is that the template is created using placeholders. So each of the different sections of this file are in separate placeholders. Once you learn how to manipulate your placeholders, you'll be able to very easily create new items, add additional features to it, maybe remove features that you don't want. But you can really customize these templates. So we're going to talk about the placeholder where the title is in this file. So right now, like I said, this says Diversity Day, and I want to get rid of that text. So when you click on a word twice, that's a double click, and I click on the word diversity twice, it selects the entire word. So sometimes I know people will drag the mouse to select and different things like that, but it's very easy to click 2 times on a word and select it. When you're working with placeholders or text boxes, if you click 3 times, 1, 2, 3, you will select everything that's in that placeholder. So once everything is selected, you do not have to hit backspace or delete. You can simply type the new text that you want to replace it. So in this case, I'm going to go ahead and type in book drive. Okay, so my event is going to be a book drive, and I have my text in there, and I think it looks great. So what is going on around my text? Well, this placeholder has a bunch of circles and a bunch of squares around it. So let's figure out what those are doing. The corner circles, each of the 4 corners has a circle. That is a resizing handle, and that will make your text box smaller or larger depending on the direction that you're dragging it in. So for example, if I click in the left corner and I drag outward, both the left margin and the top margin are increasing because I'm dragging it at an angle from a corner and 2 borders are being adjusted. So whenever you drag from a border, you're going to be adjusting both the vertical line and the horizontal border at the same time. In between the circles are little squares, little white squares. And you can use the white square if you just want to adjust one border. So for example, maybe I want to bring the right border in a little bit. I can use the square and just drag that border in. So it's not affecting the vertical border, it's just pulling in from the left a little bit. So you have all of these little sizing handles all around the corners and in the center of the borders. At the top, you have your top border, and then above that, there's a circle. That circle is your rotate handle. You can rotate your text 360 degrees. So if I want to maybe put this on a little bit of a slant, I can go ahead and take my mouse, place it over that top circle, and then click and hold my left mouse button. And you see here that I can move this 360 degrees, whichever way I'd like to do that. So I can go ahead and rotate that. And now you can see that my title is on a little bit of a slant, okay? So that is your rotate handle, and it's at the top center of your text box, okay? And then I can rotate it back if I want to. But one of the other things that you might want to do with your text box is move it. So maybe I want this to be a little bit higher up on my page or a little lower, a little bit to the right. So in that case, I would want to move the text box. And in order to be able to move the text box, I have to take my cursor and place it over the border. When I place it over the border, anywhere on the border, I get a four-way directional arrow. And once I see that arrow, I can hold my left mouse button down and click, and then I can drag this to wherever it is on the page that I want it to go. So in this case, I moved it over to the left, and I also raised it up a little bit. Once I get it in position, if I want to rotate it from here, I can do that as well. So you really want to learn how to control your placeholders and your text boxes so that you can move things around on the screen. That way, whatever your template gives you, you can replace the text, you can move it, you can resize it, you can do lots of different things with it, okay? If I want to rotate that back, I can just go ahead and turn that and rotate that. Now, the next thing I want to show you is what would happen if I put more text in this text box. So for example, it says book drive, but I'm going to say over here in front of book, I'm going to say library book drive. So I start to type in the word library, and things start to happen. So what just happened? I started to type in the word library and everything else disappeared. Where did it go? So when something is not quite right with your text box or your placeholder, you're going to see that all of those little sizing handles turn red. So that's an alert to let you know that something has gone wrong with your text box. So what's happening is my text has now outsized my text box or my placeholder. So I need to either adjust the size of the text box or make the font size a little bit smaller. So being that this is my title, I may not want to go too small on my font size. So let's take a look and see what we can do with this text box. So I'm going to adjust it using the lower right corner because I want to go to the right and I also want to go down. So I hold that left mouse button down, I scroll out to my right, and I let go. Okay, so now it says library book, which is okay, but I'm still missing something. So I'm going to pull down and let go and see how far down I have to go here to get my text to show up. So I have to go pretty far down. So it says library book drive, and now I can see the whole thing. But if you look here, this text is also in a placeholder. So now my placeholders are overlapping each other a little bit. It's okay because they're not interfering with the layout of each other. So it's okay for me to have that. But if I don't want something that large, I can go ahead and change the font. So again, I can either highlight this text or I can do what? Click 3 times with the left mouse button, 1, 2, 3. And I can go ahead and change anything that I want about this title. So maybe I want to come down a little bit with my font size. I can go up here. This is my font section and it's for formatting. I can change the font, the size, or I can use font increase or decrease. This is increase font, this is decrease font. I can click that button and immediately it decreases my font size. Okay, if I want to do that, I can go ahead and click there. My font is smaller. I can bold, italics, underline. Okay, so I can change different things about this title. I can put it in caps if I want, all caps, small caps. So maybe I'm going to do that. So I changed it up a little bit. I made it bold, I made it small caps. Now I don't need this giant text box. So you want to make sure that your text box fits around your text kind of nicely. You don't want to have a huge text box for a little bit of text, and you don't want to, of course, outgrow your text box. So in this case here, I'm going to go down to the bottom. I'm going to click on that bottom border of that text box, and I'm going to pull it up a little bit so that that fits nicely. I may also want to center my text inside my text box. Okay, I can pull it down a little bit by using move. Okay, if I want to change the color of the text is here. Shows me the color down there. I can click here. If I don't like the colors that it's suggesting, I can say more colors. I can choose the palette. Okay, I'm going to choose a nice deep purple. Click on OK. And I've changed the color of my text. So the little formatting going on there. Okay. But all of that is how you can edit your text, resize your placeholders, and move them around your page. And once you learn how to do that, you're going to be pretty much all set to work with Publisher. Okay, I'm going to come down here to my next text box. And because this is not a diversity day, I'm not going to need this information about a social studies class. So again, I'm going to click 1, 2, 3 times so that that text gets highlighted. And I'm going to write some information about my book drive. So here I'll say, please bring a children's book to the library to be donated to a child in need. Okay, I wanted to show you this because I wanted to show you that the text boxes do have a built-in spell check. So if something is wrong with the spelling of a word, it will underscore in red. And most of the time you can right-click on a misspelled word and you can choose the correct spelling from the list. So I'm going to go ahead and correct that, and you'll see that the red underscore goes away when you fix that. Okay. In this case here, this is not the date and time of my event, so I'm going to click again 3 times, and I'm going to type in here that this event is going to be from September 1 through 30, 2020, and it's going to be at the Yonkers Public Library, 1 Larkin Center, 10701. Okay, now here there's a line that says to RSVP to the school. So this book drive, you wouldn't need anyone to RSVP. So if there's any text that's in your template that you want to remove, you can simply highlight it and press delete. If it's an entire placeholder that you want to delete, you can click on the border just as if you were going to move it and press delete on your keyboard, and you can take out the entire placeholder if you need to. In this case, we're going to put in the library's website. Okay, I'm going to just adjust that with a lowercase w. And then I'm going to press enter, and I'm going to add the library's phone number. Okay, and if there was any other information that I wanted to add, I can go ahead and add it to the text box. I have plenty of space there. If I don't want such a large text box, I can go ahead and limit the size of the text box if I want to. Okay, so that is a very quick and easy way to create a publication using Microsoft Publisher. I can go ahead and hit save in the upper left-hand corner. My book drive flyer is saved. Now, let's say we want to make some additional changes. Okay, one of the things that we're going to do is we are going to add a picture, an image. So let's say I really want to put an image of books onto this flyer. How can I do that? There's a couple of different ways that you can do it. But if you go over to the Insert tab on your ribbon, you'll see there's a section for illustrations. And I can go ahead and insert a picture, maybe that I have on my hard drive or saved to my desktop somewhere, okay? I can navigate my computer and find a picture. I can go to online pictures, which is what I'm going to do, or I can insert a shape or insert a placeholder for a picture. In this case, I'm going to search for some online pictures. When I click on that, it takes me to a Bing search, which is fine. I'm going to search Bing for an image of books and press enter. Okay, when it finds pictures, it's going to open up choices for me to insert images of books. Okay. So here come some images of books. Being that this is a children's book drive, there's this picture here with children on the books. I'm going to go ahead and select that picture, and then I'm going to click on insert. And there goes the picture. So now what's happened? My picture is interfering with my other text placeholders, but that's okay. As long as I know how to manipulate a placeholder, then I can simply readjust the size. I can move it over to the side. So in this case here, I'm going to click here and I'm going to make it a little bit smaller. And then I'm going to click on the image itself and I'm going to drag it over here to the left-hand side so that it's not really in my way, okay? So I click on that picture, I resize it, and then I can click on it and drag it. I could also rotate it. So if I wanted to use that rotate handle again, I can rotate the picture of the kids playing on the computer. Now what's happening is those placeholders are interfering with each other. Okay, so library, book, and the word drive is not showing up anymore. So you want to be careful that you don't lay out your placeholders in a way that it's going to make anything on your flyer disappear. So you want to be very careful with that. So you may have a little more room somewhere else. Maybe there's more room at the bottom. So you might want to take that and put it down at the bottom. And then that will move this over a little bit. If you don't want to move that over, then you can raise this up. So it's a matter of getting everything to kind of go into the right place where you'd like it to be. Okay, if I'm moving that over, there's a star here that I can't get access to. So the little yellow star, when I click here, is not connected. It's not connected to my pictures of my children, and it's not connected to my title. So where did this yellow star come from? The yellow star is coming from the template. So if I want to make a change to the actual template, I have to do something a little bit different. What I would need to do is go to the View tab and go take a look at the master page. When I click on master page, it's showing me, I'm going to just bring my zoom down a little bit on my master page. But this is the master. This is the template that I started with. It has the sun and the blue sky here. It's got the wave down at the bottom. And it's also got that little star right in the middle. So if I make that bigger, there is that star. I want to get rid of the star. I can just click on it and hit delete. And that will be taken off. So then I don't have to worry really about where my text is because I don't have to line it up with that star anymore. So I'm going to close the master page and show you that now that star is gone. So I can click on this and I can drag it just about anywhere. I don't really have to worry about where that star is going to be anymore because I've removed it. So where did I go to do that? I went to View, Master Page, and I removed it from here. Now, if I needed to, I could undo. Control Z is the keyboard shortcut for undoing, along with the undo button that's at the top of my screen here on the left. So if you did something and then you decide you want to undo it, you can absolutely do that as well. But in this case here, I'm going to leave that as not showing up. And I want to highlight or select this text in here. And I just want to make it all just a little bit bigger. So I'm going to highlight my text and I'm going to click on the increase font size button a couple of times until it gets to be a nice big size. I want people to definitely be able to read the information. I'm going to adjust the size of my picture. Okay, I'm going to move these kids off to the side. So once you decide that you like where everything is, you can go ahead and finalize your publication. Okay, so I'm just moving some stuff around here that I think I might want to move around. I might want to center, maybe I want to center the address of the library. I can do that. I can center this as well, the phone number and the website. So what it's whatever you'd like to do, you know, to be creative. It's your publication. Okay, so I'm going to do that. Now I may want to zoom out a little bit and take a look at that so I can see my title, I can see my text, it's nice and large, and my image is in there, and maybe I think that looks great. Okay, one of the other things I wanted to show you about the template under view and master page, these images that make up the template, they're actually different placeholders that are kind of overlapping each other. So for example, if I click on the image of the blue sky and I press delete, the line stays in with a little bit of the sunshine, but the blue sky is gone. So if I thought maybe that was a little too much on my screen, I could take that off. The same thing with the bottom. If I want to click here, I can hit delete. So I can edit the template, even though, you know, I liked it initially, but now I wanted to change it up a little bit. And that's where you do that, is on that master page. When I hit close and I go back in, now the blue is taken off. It's not that much color up there. And the focus, I think, is really now on my title. So there are different ways that you can edit a template. So I think that this looks great. So you go ahead and save that, click the save button. And if you wanted to send it out to folks as a PDF file, you would simply go to File, Save As, choose your location. I'm choosing desktop, but you can choose another location. And then we could change that to PDF file and click on Save. And it would take that publisher file. Not only is it saved on my desktop as a publisher file, but it's also saved on my desktop as a PDF file. And I can go ahead and email that around to people. Okay. Now, just to go over some other templates that you have available, if you go to the File menu and you click on New, so many different types of templates. We looked at event flyer, but for example, there are business cards. There are also brochures. Okay, I can type in brochure and find some brochures. There's different layouts. Here's a trifold brochure. There's even templates for things like newsletters. Okay, if I do newsletter. The nice thing about using these templates, I'm going to select this one, for example, with the books and click on create. So if I was looking to do a library newsletter, I can go ahead and choose this template, and I can just increase my zoom here. I'm going to move up, and it says here, your organization. So I just have to go here, do a triple click, 1, 2, 3. I can type in Yonkers Public Library. Or maybe I want to put our logo or something in there, and maybe I want to put our address in there. Okay, it's all just a matter of knowing how to format your text and being able to manipulate your placeholders. Okay, and then don't forget, when you want to save, you do your file save as, choose your location, give your file a name, and click save. Okay. So that's it for today's session on Microsoft Publisher. I hope everyone has enjoyed watching that session. And if you have any questions, please feel free to email me. It's Christine Bitetti, and my email address is cbitetti@ypl.org. It's cbitetti@ypl.org. Thank you for watching. Have a great day, and we hope to see you back at the library soon. Take care.